Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. Okay, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Purchase a membership if you would like to. If you have any questions about how to do so, ask the moderators to drop the link in the chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I apologize for being tardy, but at the last minute, somebody showed up. Okay, somebody showed up to do some work real quick. They were supposed to be here hours ago. But anyway, so with that all being said, my apologies. Okay, so let's see who's in here. Ayon, all right, that Crazy Beach Aries, Mr. Elevation, Jonah, all right. Khalid is here, Stacy Quentin, all right, Claudette, Deronda, Timber Dan is here, Obsidian Blaze. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, this chat's moving. Nessie X is here. Okay. So with that all being said, Cassandra, okay, Laverne, Silent D, Mother Nature is in the house. I love it. All right. And so shout out to everyone in the chat. Claudette said, I love the sound of the wind chimes. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Don't forget that we're having Trivia Friday on this channel this week. Not on the main channel. It's going to be on this one because we were on the main channel last time. Dan said, I'll do my best to drop links, but I'm on the phone at the moment. That's okay, Dan. Do what you can do, beloved. Aeon's got your back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this party started. I have a PowerPoint presentation. We're going to be talking about dreams of time. Okay, dream time. And so we're going to talk about that, and I have some videos of people's different experiences that I want you all to see after I finish the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. And we can go ahead and get this party started. Likes up. Everyone, please get those likes up. You all know they have Queen Shadow Band on all platforms. All right. Put my little banner up. Okay, here we go. Okay, the spiritual meaning behind dreams of time. So let's get into it. What does dreaming of a specific time mean? Dreams about time can represent a wide variety of feelings, experiences, and memories. Dreaming of a specific time can refer to something from the past, a moment in the present, or a vision of the future. Time in dreams can also take on a cyclical, a cyclical, or I don't have on my glasses. Let me put them on real quick. Let me put my glasses on, beloveds. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay. Now, where was I? Okay, time in dreams can take on a cyclical or repetitive pattern, like a clock or a repeating cycle of events. Understanding the meaning behind your dreams of time can help you unlock the power of your subconscious. Now, dreaming of a specific moment in time. And so dreaming of a specific moment in time can be a powerful experience. It can represent an important memory or feeling that has been suppressed. It can also be a warning or a sign that something important is about to happen. Paying attention to details in your dream can help you understand what it is trying to tell you. Now, dreaming of a time in the past or future can be a sign that you are reflecting on something from your past or preparing for something in the future. It can be a sign that you are revisiting old feelings or preparing for something new. So pay attention to the feeling in your dream and the context of the time you're dreaming of to better understand what your subconscious is trying to tell you. Dreaming of a repetitive or a cyclical time can be a sign that you are stuck in a loop or stuck in a pattern of thoughts or behavior. Now, we already know that very often we get caught up in, different patterns of thoughts and behaviors. And that's what we've been talking about on here on many occasions, about trying to get rid of negative patterns of behavior, trying to, focus on positive things, and how it can take you up to 250 days, and this is if you're really trying. It actually can take you longer than this. But if you're trying, even if you're putting in the work, sometimes it can take us up to 250 days, almost an entire year, to change our patterns of behavior, because many of them have already been programmed into our subconscious minds, which controls 95% of our behaviors and all of those things, as I told you numerous of times. Now, pay attention to the feeling in your dream and the objects or symbols that are associated with the repetitive time to gain further insight into what your dream is trying to tell you. And so understanding the meaning behind your dreams of time can help you unlock the power of your subconscious. Pay attention to the details in your dream, the feelings associated with the time and the symbols or objects associated with the time to gain further insight into what your dream is trying to tell you. Interpreting the meaning behind dreams of time. So dreams involving time have many meanings and interpretations depending on the context and the context of the dream. To understand the power of your subconscious, it is important to look at the symbolism and metaphors in your dreams. Your subconscious mind is a powerful force, and understanding the messages it's trying to communicate can help you make sense of the images and feelings in your dream. Pay attention to the people, emotions, objects, as these can be clues to the underlying meaning. Ask yourself what the dream is trying to tell you. Now, dreams of time can also reflect your emotional state. Consider how you felt during the dream and whether these emotions might have been triggered by something in your waking life. Your subconscious mind can be a powerful source of insight into your feelings and emotions, and understanding them can help you make sense of the dream. Dreams of time can also be a reflection of your unconscious desires. Dreams are often a way for your subconscious to express what you are not consciously aware of or able to express. Ask yourself what the dream may be trying to tell you about yourself and your relationships. Now, by understanding the symbolism and metaphors in your dream, you can unlock the power of your unconscious and gain insight into your emotions and desires. Paying attention to the images and feelings in your dream can help you interpret its meaning and gain powerful insight into your inner self. Analyzing the symbolism in dreams of time. So, dreams are a representation of our unconscious mind, and the symbolism within them often can be interpreted to discover hidden truths and messages from our subconscious. Dreams involving time can reveal a great deal about your thoughts, feelings, and your beliefs. So the meaning of time in dreams. Now, time in dreams often symbolizes the passage of life, our hopes for the future, and how we perceive current life circumstances. When we dream about time, we may be reflecting on our life choices or decisions that we've made. We may also be expressing a desire to go back in time and change something or someone. Dream symbols involving time. Now, those can include clocks, calendars, time machines, numbers. Clocks are a common symbol that can represent the cyclical nature of life, while a calendar can signify the passage of time or a desire to plan for the future. Time machines can symbolize a desire to go back and make changes to the past. Numbers can represent a countdown to a particular event or serve as a reminder of the limited time that we have in this life. The role of time in your dream. Now, the role of time in your dream can provide insight into how you feel about your current life circumstances and how you want to use your time. It can also provide insight into your goals and hopes for the future. So pay attention to the context of the dream and any underlying messages to better understand the meaning behind your dream. By exploring symbolism of time in your dreams, you can gain insight into your deepest thoughts and feelings. By understanding the power of your subconscious, you can unlock the meaning behind your dreams and gain better understanding of yourself and your life. Understanding your life's journey. Now, dreams of time can offer a window into our subconscious, helping us to understand our true motivations and desires. By tapping into our dreams, we can gain greater insight into our life's journey and gain clarity on goals and ambitions. By understanding our dreams of time, we can take steps to make conscious choices and move towards fulfilling our potential. This can also help you to maximize your potential. And if you're not trying to maximize your potential, then you're not doing the best that you can do. And remember, there's always room for improvement. Now, unlocking creativity. Dreams of time can also be used to explore our creative potential. By understanding our subconscious desires, we can unlock a source of creativity that can be used to achieve our goals. Our dreams can help us to identify new ways of thinking and can provide an outlet for our hidden talents. By unlocking the power of our subconscious, we can discover hidden resources and use them to reach our creative potential. Coping with stress. Dreams of time can also be used as a powerful tool for managing stress. By understanding our subconscious motivations and desires, we can develop strategies for dealing with difficult situations. Our dreams can provide insight into our emotional state and can help us to identify potential solutions to our problems. Now, by using your dreams or our dreams of time to cope with stress, we can develop healthier and more productive coping mechanisms. And some people have terrible coping mechanisms. Some people get frustrated, upset, worried, stressed, and they start eating too much, overeating. And the bad thing is they eat all the wrong things. They don't eat like fruits and vegetables and healthy things. No. Snacking on nuts and seaweed chips or things like that. No. They're snacking on Lay's potato chips, honey buns, cookies, all the wrong things. That's how some people cope with stress. Some people, they smoke. And I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm talking about cigarettes, which is not good. And then some people, they resort to alcohol because they want to just, escape from reality. And people have different methods of coping with things, as we all know, of course. Now, dreams of time can also be used as a powerful tool for managing stress. By understanding our subconscious motivations and desires, we can develop strategies for dealing with difficult situations. Our dreams can provide insight into our emotional state and can help us to identify potential solutions to problems. By using our dreams of time to cope with stress, we can develop healthier and more productive coping mechanisms. Now, what is the significance of dream symbolism related to time? Dreams related to time are believed to be symbolic of our life journey, reminding us to be mindful of the choices we make and to use our time wisely. Time in dreams can often represent a transition, either from the past to the present or from the present to the future. It can also symbolize the passing of time or whether we're running out of time. Dreams related to time can also be signs of a coming change or of a need to slow down and take time for ourselves. Ultimately, the dream's message is to make the most of the time that we have and to use it wisely. And remember that old saying that your grandparents likely used to say, time waits for no one, so let no one waste their time. They actually say time waits for no man, so let no man waste his time, but Now, how can I interpret my own dreams about time? Identify patterns. When examining your dreams, look for any recurring themes or symbols that appear in your dream. What is the most prominent motifs or images that you remember? Make a list of the symbols and their associated meanings to help you identify the overall message. Consider the context. Consider the context of the dream. Now, what is the setting of the dream? What activities are you engaging in? Are there other people present in the dream? How do you feel during your dream? Your answers can help you to understand the underlying meaning of your dream. Or you could simply speak to someone who is an interpreter of dreams. Now, I don't know what happened to this slide. Why is this looking crazy? Oh, okay. I know what's going on. I know what's going on, beloveds. Hold on. Let me stop the show real quick. And so you all know sometimes, excuse me, sometimes the PowerPoint will freeze up because it may not be compatible with my Microsoft Office 365. And so with that all being said, I'm going to keep it going because I have it in my emails. So I'm just going to switch over to my emails. Let me just make sure I'm on the right slide real quick. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Now, look for clues. Pay attention to the details in your dream. What time does the dream take place? Is the clock ticking or has it stopped? Is the time of day important? What objects do you see in the dream? Are you seeing a clock or a calendar? Look for any hints or clues that can help you interpret the dream. So analyze your feelings. It is important to consider how you feel while dreaming. Are you feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or confused? Or are you feeling relaxed and content? And you'd likely be feeling relaxed and content if you've been meditating. Okay? If you've been, or not meditating, if you've been listening to meditative sounds before falling asleep. As I told you, and by the way, that reminds me, for those of you who haven't started following my meditation channel, the universal language, please make sure you do so. And the universal is spelled Y-O-U, okay? The universal language. Now, analyze your feelings. It is important to consider how you feel while dreaming. Are you anxious or confused, or are you feeling relaxed and content? Analyzing your feelings in the dream can help you understand how the dream is relevant to your life. Check your emotions. Now, when interpreting your dreams, consider your current emotional state. Are you feeling stressed or anxious in your waking life? This could be connected to your dreams about time specifically. Analyze your goals. Reflect on your goals and ambitions. Are you feeling frustrated or stuck? You know, sometimes we feel stagnant, like we're not moving forward. We're not accomplishing our goals. We're not going anywhere. We're just living a mundane existence. Now, your dream may be related to your goals and what you're striving for in life. Think about your life events. Consider any major life events that have occurred recently. Do these events relate to your dream in any way? Pay attention to any recurring thoughts and emotions that may be related to these events. And you may need to seek professional help. And I don't mean that to say that you may have a mental problem or there's something wrong with you, but sometimes, like I said earlier, you can go to someone who's an interpreter of dreams. You can also talk to someone if you're feeling, stressed, anxious, uneasy, or whatever. You may just want to talk to someone, get counseling or whatever. And, some people go to these people that basically, I don't want to say they do hypnotism, but they help people deal with past life regression. Okay? They can help you to deal with old traumas. Because very often these things will also manifest in your dreams. For example, there was a young lady I was talking to some years ago, and she really had a bad relationship with her mother. She was very abusive, her mother was. And she said that every time since she was a little girl, she'd had these dreams about her mother, and they were always nightmares. It was always something terrible happening, like, the house would catch on fire, or her mother would always be trying to harm her. In some cases, she said her mother looked like she was a demon. Sometimes her eyes were all completely black. And a lot of that came from the trauma that she endured as a child while living in her mother's care. And also, in my opinion, her mother likely did have some type of malevolent, demonic energy connected to her. Because that tends to be the kind of people that are abusive to children. Please pay attention. Now, if you are unable to interpret your dream, consider seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor. It can help you better understand your dream and how it's related to your subconscious. What techniques can you use to gain insight into the messages that your subconscious is sending in your dreams? Well, you can journal. And I think I told you all this before, that I keep a dream journal, and you should keep one too. There are certain things that you remember when you first awaken, but you may not remember it as the day proceeds, as time passes throughout the day. Because I've had that happen to me plenty of times when I was younger. That's why I started keeping dream journals, because I have prophetic dreams and I know this. And so if I awaken and then I don't write it down and then later on I forget, that could have been a specific message sent to me by the universe or from the Most High. So you want to keep a dream journal and write down your dreams. And also, keeping a dream journal can help you to uncover patterns in your dreams and provide clues about their meanings. Write down as many details as you can recall about your dream, including any emotions that you felt and the environment that you were in. Now, speaking of that, I'm going to stop the share for a minute. Oh my goodness, you all weren't even seeing the PowerPoint. You all couldn't see the PowerPoint. I'm sorry. I thought I was sharing the screen. I just got a notification on here. It said that it couldn't share my screen for some reason. I don't know what happened. But nevertheless, I was going to ask you guys, do you all remember when I told you all, because I was telling you all before about keeping dream journals, but do you all remember when I told you about the dream that I had for like 3 nights in a row? I had this dream for like 3 nights in a row, and I read it to you all about the tiger. And one dream was about the demon, but it was really the same dream. Just in one dream, it ended with a demon coming after me. And then the next dream, it was the same exact thing, except that instead of the demon, it was the tiger. We were using our imaginations. I'm sorry, beloveds. That's what I get. You know, when I get on my PowerPoints, I get caught up with it with the slides, and I'm not looking at the chat. Not that you were using your imaginations, beloved. Okay, so let me try it again. Let me see if I can share it this time. I don't know how I didn't notice that. I have my phone sitting right here. I could have just looked at my phone. Let me see if it's going to let me share this time. Yeah, it's not letting me share for some reason. I don't know what's going on. That's kind of weird. That is kind of weird. Okay, so anyway, let me continue, beloveds. I'm sorry y'all can't see the PowerPoint. Now, this really ticks me off because I worked hard on these PowerPoints. Y'all know I be working hard on these PowerPoints, and now y'all can't even see it. It's like, what is really going on? Oh, so nefarious, but hold on. Let me see if I can go back to my original share because it looks like it's working now. Let me see here. Maybe it's because, I don't know, even if it was in my emails, it should still be letting me share, though. That's crazy. Okay, can you all see it now? Let me see. Okay, so there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get back started. Now, let me get on the place where I was. Okay, so dream interpretation. Exploring dream interpretations can help to shed light on the messages your subconscious is sending. Use a dream dictionary to look up symbols and elements that appear in your dream, as they may have a deeper meaning. Consultation. Now, working with a dream therapist or analyst can be a helpful way to gain insight into the messages in your dreams. A dream specialist can help you to uncover the underlying messages behind your dream and provide guidance on how to move forward. How can I use dreams related to time to better understand myself and my life? Well, dreams related to time can help you gain insight into current situations and decisions in your life. And then analyzing the symbols, the images, and the events in the dream can provide insight into how you view the passage of time, how you manage your time, and how you prioritize tasks. Now, paying attention to the clock, the calendar, and other time-related objects in a dream can offer clues about how you are feeling about the future or how you're approaching transitions in your life. Additionally, by reflecting on how your dream made you feel, you can gain insight into your subconscious fears and desires. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share because I want you all to see these videos. I thought they were very interesting because how many of you, ones in the chat, if this applies to you, how many of you have ever had dreams where you saw a clock or a watch and it had a specific time on it, or you see certain numbers in your dreams? Ones in the chat, if any of you have ever experienced that. Okay, Nessie X says always. Okay, that's interesting. See, a lot of ones. Okay, so now with that all being said, when you experience these things, it's actually best for you to write down these numbers, because very often these numbers are significant. Specifically, if you're seeing something like angel numbers, someone's birthday, things like that. You should definitely be writing these things down in your dream journal. And if you don't have a dream journal, it's a good idea to get one. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the share. We only have 2 slides left. Now, dreaming of time can also reveal unconscious feelings of being overwhelmed, anxious, or behind in life. By reflecting on your dream of time, you can gain insight into how you are managing stressful situations and how you can make the most of your time. In conclusion, remember, dreams of time can provide insights into your subconscious and helps us to understand ourselves. By understanding our dreams, we can gain a better understanding of how our past experiences affect our current and future decisions. By analyzing the symbols and meanings behind our dreams, we can uncover the powerful and sometimes hidden messages that our subconscious is trying to convey. With this newfound understanding, we can make more informed decisions, more informed life decisions specifically, and develop healthier habits. All right, so just be mindful of that, beloveds. Just be mindful of that. Timber Dan said we were dreaming of the PowerPoint. Dan, you are so wrong for that. You are something else. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to show you all some videos. Now, I haven't watched all of these. I watched like a few seconds of them because there were so many to choose from. And I was like, okay, let me get the ones that sound like they're going to be interesting. And so I got these videos where people were talking about their experiences about asking the time in their dreams. Once in the chat, if any one of you has ever been in a dream and asked someone for the time specifically. Now, I've never done it. I've never even thought to do it until I saw these videos that people were saying they did it. So if you've ever thought, or if you've ever asked someone the time in your dream, like if you were having a lucid dream, and you would typically do this during a lucid dream, because remember, in a lucid dream, as I've told you many times, you're able to control what goes on in the dream. That's why I love to have them. You know that you're dreaming. You can sometimes see yourself asleep, lying in your bed. It's like you're having an out-of-body experience, and you maybe are, because you can sit there and look at yourself. And you know that it's a dream, and you can control the things that you're doing, and you can just tell yourself when to wake up or whatever. And you feel things like in real life. Like it's so real. Like, for example, if you turn on the faucet and you put your hands under the water, you can literally feel the water. Remember the dream I told you all? And that was a dream of time too. Remember the dream I told you all where I dreamt about, I was in Little Five Points in Georgia. I was in Little Five Points. And so this girl was trying to sell me a Rolex with diamonds because she bought it for her boyfriend. She paid $40,000 for it. And she said that he cheated on her, so she wasn't going to give it to him. And I was like, girl, I don't have $40,000. And she was like, no, you can have it for 40. I don't care. I just want to get rid of it. And I thought that was crazy. But remember in the dream, when I went to go look at the watch, because she told me it was outside in the parking lot in her car, when I went to go out there and look at it, there were some guys breaking in her car because they saw it and they wanted to steal it. She left it in a glass case on the seat. And so I ran inside to tell her, like, girl, there's some guys breaking in your car. And so we all ran outside. It was me, my 2 friends, and her 3 friends. We all ran outside, and the guys started shooting at us as soon as we came out there. So we took off running across the street, and I got shot. I got shot in my neck. And I knew that I was dying. I'm like, I'm shot in my jugular vein. I'm going to bleed to death. I said, I'm either shot in my jugular vein or my carotid artery. And I said, I'm going to be dead in like 10 minutes because I'm going to bleed to death. But I could literally feel the warmth of the blood as it ran down my neck. And everything went black, and I closed my eyes and I started saying the Lord's Prayer because I knew I was leaving here. And then I woke up. Now, when I woke up, it was 10 minutes to 6 in the morning. 10 minutes later, my then boyfriend at the time called me, and he was all out of breath. And he sounded upset. And I'm like, what's going on? Are you okay? He said, no. He said, I just had a dream that I was dying. And I said, really? I had a dream too. And he said, yeah, I woke up 10 minutes ago. And then he starts telling me about this dream that he was in Little Five Points. I know some of y'all remember this. He was telling me that he was dreaming that he was in Little Five Points, same place I was. And he had on his diamond Rolex. And his friend D was in the car with him. And some crackhead walks up to the car and asks him if he can take his watch and clean it up. And he wants him to pay him $10 for it. And he's like, dude, I'm not giving you my real diamond and Rolex watch. And his friend D was like, no, I know him. He's cool. He's going to bring it right back. It's going to look brand new. So he gave it to him. Now, he would never have done this in real life. But he gave it to the guy. The guy comes back a few minutes later with a fake watch with rhinestones, not even QZs, literally rhinestones, cheap as I don't know what. So he starts arguing with the guy, arguing with his friend D for telling him to do it in the first place. D pulls out a gun and he tries to jump out of the car, but his jacket gets caught on the seatbelt. And so then D ends up shooting him in his head, like right in the middle of his forehead where his third eye is. He said when he fell to the ground, everything went dark and he could literally feel the warmth of the blood rolling down his face. And he started saying the Lord's Prayer. And I was like, wait a minute, that's crazy. That's almost my same dream. So I thought that was very strange. Though it was a dream of time because we dreamt about the watches, I never saw the time on the watch because, like I said, when I was going to the car, I saw these guys trying to break in. And so he didn't say anything about seeing the time either, but I thought that was very interesting. Silent D said, did it turn your wrist green? You all are something else. Okay, so now let's go to these videos. All right, everyone like and share. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Now, members, I probably told you this yesterday, but I promise tomorrow I'm going to do a members only live along with the live for everybody else, okay? I get busy and I have so many things going on. Y'all wouldn't believe all the work I have to do. I literally work 12 hours a day and I'm not even joking, okay? So let's go to the first video. Lights up. Thank you in advance.
I saw a couple of videos recently where they were talking about trying to figure out the time in your dream, like ask someone in your dream what the date and the time is or whatever. And I lucid dream pretty much anytime I dream. So I was like, oh, next time I do that, I'm gonna do that. I saw this video yesterday and it reminded me because I'm super ADHD and I was like, oh yeah, when I go to bed, I'm gonna do that. So it happened last night and it was really freaking creepy. For context, I lucid dream almost all the time. And a lot of times like I'll explore or it'll be some sort of like a dream that at the end of the dream, I realize I'm dreaming. I can go back to the beginning and then like relive the dream almost like it's a video or a movie or something. I don't even know how to explain this other than a lot of times it's like a one-on-one situation. Like I might be like talking to my best friend or my dog's sick and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, this isn't real. That's not how that person acts or something's off, right? Anyways, so I was going through some pretty normal dreams last night. Like, my dog was sick and I was trying to take care of it. And, like, I reconnected with a friend that I don't talk to anymore. And I was like, we still have beef. I don't know, just like different normal things that I feel like I would dream about that were not like red flags. And then I ended up with this group of people. They were all like strangers. I didn't recognize any of them, and they weren't meant to be anyone that I knew. But we were sitting at a table and we were talking about whatever had been happening in the dreams that night. And I looked out towards the water. We were sitting by the water, and the waves like didn't move right. And I was like, that's not how water works. And then I went, oh right, because I'm in the dream world. I'm in dream. And I was like, oh my God. So I turned really quickly to my right, and I asked the girl, there was a girl and two guys. And I asked the girl, I said, what's the date and the time? And she said, she just like looked at me and she went, it's 10:10 at 2:13 p.m. sharp. And I was like, what? And she goes, 10:10, 2:13 p.m. sharp. And it's like it was the 8th yesterday, so I was like, that's so weird. But then I was like, oh, weird. Well, in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna go explore. But then this guy, one of the guys at the table, like grabbed me by the arm and he's like, it's time for you to go now. And I was like, what? And he was like, you're gonna have to wake up now. And I was like, no, like it's all good. I'm dreaming. This is my dream. Let me go. Like I'm just gonna go explore and see what's around. And he was just like, no, it's time for you to wake up. And he took my head and he like shoved it into the water. And usually I can breathe underwater. Like I'm lucid dreaming. I wasn't scared. I was like, I can literally dream underwater. But instead it felt like all these like bubbles were filling my head. And then I was just like forced awake. I just woke up and I was like, so yeah, I have no idea what that means, but
Okay, that was kind of interesting. Now, mommy said that I said I woke up that it was 10 minutes till 6. Right, but that wasn't in the dream. It was 10 minutes till 6 when I awakened from the dream. I never saw what time the watch had it on in the dream, but when I woke up, I looked at my clock and it was 10 minutes till 6. The crazy thing about that was my then boyfriend called me at 6 a.m., 10 minutes after I woke up. And then when he was telling me what happened in his dream, he literally said, I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. I had a dream that I was dying. I got shot. And that was so crazy because that's exactly what I was dreaming. And we both dreamt that we were in little 5 points, and in both of our dreams had something to do with Rolexes. So you know what I thought about at the time? I had asked the Most High to let me know if he was the right person for me. So I took that as a sign that he wasn't. Because I'm like, okay, clearly this is nefarious, okay? And he wasn't the right person for me. So I'm just saying, sometimes your dreams are giving you a message, all right? Now here's the next video.
All right, hi, I'm Lauren. You don't know me because it's my first TikTok. Never thought in a million years how I'd be making one, but I had a dream and I had to get people's opinion on it. So I've seen people on TikTok that have had lucid dreams where they know they're dreaming. And they say, if you are in a dream and you know you're dreaming, ask the people in your dream what the time and date is. So this is a story of what happened in my dream when I asked that. So I'm dreaming. I'm going to my parents' house. My husband's with me. So we go there. My mom opens the door and I'm like, hey mom, trying to keep it casual. I'm like, so do you happen to know what the time and date is? And she immediately changes. She's like, oh, honey, you don't need to worry about that here. Like, you shouldn't be asking that. No. And I was starting to get a little bit anxious and scared when she said that. And I'm like, no, but like, I really want to know, Mom. It's not a big deal. You can totally tell me. And she wouldn't. And I remember reaching in my purse to grab my phone, and I looked at it, and it didn't say the time and date. I remember the time said 00, ooh, geez, 0000. And it didn't have anything for the date. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's disappointing. And she goes, why don't you go talk to your dad? He's in the backyard. And I kind of stops me dead in my tracks. I'm like, my dad's here. My dad, he's like, now he's here. She goes, oh yeah, he's in the backyard. Go talk to him. He wants to talk to you. So I go out there and I talk to my dad. And he's like, oh, hey, sweetie, how's it going? He's standing outside of a bounce house. It seems like it might be one of my kids' birthday parties. And I'm like, Dad, there's so many things I want to say to you, but I need to know. I'm on this mission. Like, what is the time and date? He gets very quiet and almost like conspiratorial and says, it's April 17th, 2017. And I look at him and I go, no, it's not. You died in 2010. If it's 2017, you can't be here. And the dream changes completely as soon as I say that. And somehow, I don't remember everything, but I was told it was September 2nd. And I'm like, no, it's not. I was like, what year? And I was never told. I don't even remember who I asked. But they're like, oh, it's September 2nd. And I wake up in my room when I said, no, it's not. It can't be. I look at my clock, which is just a normal clock, shows the time, except it shows the date, September 2nd, and the time. I was still dreaming. I had only woken up in my dream. And I laid there for what seemed like absolutely an eternity, just staring at my clock, willing it to change, willing myself, wake up, wake up, wake up. And it was just the craziest dream that I've ever had, that I was that self-aware. Thoughts?
So that was clearly a lucid dream. If she said, when she said that she woke up and she thought she was really awakened, but she was only awakened in the dream. Okay, that's clearly a lucid dream. So let's go to the next one, because this is getting interesting.
Okay, I'm going to dive right in. If you have been seeing TikToks about people talking about their dreams and asking the date and time, this is what happened to me when I asked that question. I am a lucid dreamer, have been forever. I have certain scenarios, places that I repeatedly visit. Just always been aware I can control what happens in my dream and that I'm in dream mode. This also includes night terrors and sleep paralysis, which is a very interesting story. I might do that one if anybody is interested to hear it. But this is what happened when I asked the date and time in my dream. Now, my dream was pretty boring in a sense that I was just moving into a new university room with my best friend in real life, and it looked like her, exactly the same as her. Wasn't her, image of her, it was her. So we're going up and down this car park, I dream about car parks a lot, to put the boxes into our new living space. And then at one point I sort of realised, oh, I'm dreaming. I can see a clock on the wall, but it has no numbers on it and I can't quite make out what the hands say. I'll just ask my friend Beth. Beth, what time and date is it today? Do you know? And Beth stops what she's doing as she has her back to me in my dream, stands upright and turns her head with a deer in a headlight sort of look. And I have a sense of pure dread. Like when you feel like there might be something in the house and you're alone, that like wash of terror kind of feeling. So she didn't say anything, and I had a bright white light flashed in my eyes from nowhere. And the only way I can describe it is if somebody takes a picture with the flash on really strong, right in your eye, or someone holds a torch in your eye. And I was kicked out of my dream, back into reality. And I found it interesting, but also it felt like a bit of a warning not to do that. So I haven't done it again since, but I have been looking into my dreams, and how I've controlled them. And from what it also I'm gathering, because I'm in my 30s, you didn't really have all this information like you do now growing up, but it kind of feels like I have visited kind of like other places, which is why some of my scenarios seem so real, and that I seem to repeatedly go there. So I'm new to it all. I'm learning, trying to understand. But the dreams that I've had since, as this dream happened about a month ago, I've had some more crazy dreams, and I feel like it would be quite interesting to find like-minded people who I could talk to about them and explain what's happened in my dreams. And to be honest, I'd quite like to start with the night terror I had a few years ago, because that is one experience that has lived with me forever. But let me know if any of this kind of thing has happened to you.
Okay, so that was definitely interesting. Now, mommy says that you hate dreams within a dream. Well, if you have a dream, I actually love those, because if you have a dream within a dream, it's either a lucid dream or a false waking, okay, which may have been what that woman had. It may have been a lucid dream, but it could have been a false waking, because the difference is a lucid dream, you can control the dream. You can tell yourself to wake up. You can feel things, and it feels like in real life, and you're very aware in the dream. Like when you're just having a regular dream, you don't know in the dream that you're dreaming. When you wake up, you realize that you were dreaming, but you don't know it while you're within the dream. But a lucid dream, while you're actually in the dream state, you absolutely know it's a dream. You're like, this isn't real. This is a dream. And so you can control things. So I actually like those. They may be kind of creepy sometimes, but I like them. Now, okay, so let's go to this next one.
Videos are incredible. It's lucid dreamers asking dream characters what is the date and time, and weird shit, bizarre shit, and scary shit is happening in response. And basically the idea is that when you ask the date and time, you're breaking a rule of the dream world, and bad things will happen if you break these rules. My God, that's incredible. And I want to believe this because one is that it makes it feel like dream characters are real, like they're real people that have desires and they want things and they don't want things. And number two, it makes it feel like the dream world is real. And that just is incredible. It captures my imagination. So what's actually happening here? I think it's two things. One, expectations. Dreams respond to expectations and intentions. We know before you go to bed, if you're thinking about something, you'll probably dream about that thing. So you can control what you're dreaming about by what you're thinking about before going to bed. Even within a dream, if you expect that you'll be able to do things, you'll probably be able to do those things. So I think people are asking what is the date and time and expecting weird shit to happen, and it does. Number two is that dream characters just don't do math, and we've known that since the 80s. So you're asking dream characters to do something they don't like to do normally, and expecting bad stuff will happen. I haven't had one of these dreams, so if you've had one, please let me know how this explanation sounds to you.
Okay, so now he thinks that you shouldn't ask for the date and time in your dream because he says bad things will happen. Well, I don't know. Maybe they will. But let's continue. This is the last video.
So 2 nights ago, I was dreaming and I decided to ask what the date and time was. Now, I've seen videos on here of people saying, hey, next time you're lucid dreaming, give that a try because it might be you might get a cool answer like, oh, it's the year 2030 or something. But then there are other videos on here that'll say never do that. It's dangerous. You could get trapped in the astral plane or bring an attachment back with you. Anyways, I don't know. Really, I'm not sure what I believe when it comes to that stuff, but I just kind of made the decision, okay, I just won't do that, because I lucid dream a lot. I think most of the dreams that I remember are lucid dreams. But my dream self the other night apparently decided to change her mind, and I was having a dream, and I knew I was dreaming. It was like a recurring dream that I have a lot, and everyone was mad at me anyways in the dream, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ask what the date and time is. So I ask this woman that I know, and I say like, hey, what's like the date and time? And I was in a room with a few other people and they all kind of just turned to stare at me like Inception style. And it was just kind of like why would you ask that? She gave me an answer. Her answer was like, it's like 6774 or something, some time that doesn't exist. And then she said, it's 63 quarts was the time also. So, I mean, that didn't make sense. And then I get transported to another dream. In this other dream, I'm in a crowd of people. I'm standing next to this like nice looking guy about my age. We just start like making kind of conversation. We're standing in a line or a crowd or something. And I say, you know what, this guy seems really nice. Let me ask him. So I ask him, hey, do you know like what the date and time is? And then everybody in this huge crowd of people suddenly just turns to stare at me. And like he had this like really sweet, like nice face, and it just like turns into this like, oh no, he's like, I don't know, he was mad at me for asking that. And I try to level with him. I'm like, listen, I do think this is my subconscious because you know, I've been watching these TikTok videos and they say not to do this because like scary stuff will happen. Like I'm not fully convinced that this, like, I'm just like, I feel like you don't have to react like this. I feel like this is my brain doing this to me. Anyways, he didn't, I don't know, he didn't care what I was saying. They were just all really upset with me for asking the question. And then I get transported to another dream, which was completely irrelevant. I didn't ask. I don't think that one was a lucid dream because I didn't ask the date and time. And then I wake up in my bed and I'm like, oh, cool. I asked this question. I'm going to make a TikTok about it. But then I wake up again because I wasn't really awake that first time. And now it's been a couple days, so I do think I'm awake now. And so I made the TikTok. I don't think I brought any evil attachments with me. It was scary when it was happening. But honestly, I've been in a great mood these past couple days, so.
Well, maybe the attachment she brought back was some positive energy. I'm just saying. Okay, so with that all being said, here's the thing. There is no concept of time in the dream realm. Because if you remember, I've told you this before. Because remember I told you the dream that I had about going to the, walking down the street on a gloomy day with the leaves rustling, and I was come upon this synagogue, and then there was a lady inside possessed by a demon, and I was the one who had to exorcise the demon out of her. And when I woke up, I was speaking in tongues, literally. When I woke up, I was speaking Hebrew. At the time, I had never studied Hebrew. Okay, so that's real crazy. And I still remembered it vividly the next morning. When I woke up, I could still speak it, the language I was speaking in the dream, which I later found out was Hebrew. When I spoke it to a shaman, an elder that I knew, he was a shaman, and I spoke it to him, and he said, that's Hebrew. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So remember, I told you guys 2 years later, there was a young woman that I worked with briefly, and she came up to me and started telling me her dream. It was the same dream. She even used the same terminology that I used. She said she's walking down the street on a gloomy day, heading towards this huge synagogue, and that the leaves were rustling on the ground. Now, how many of you know people that say the leaves are rustling on the ground? Because I speak like that when I'm describing things, I guess because I'm a writer. And so I give very detailed things and I just use certain words or whatever. But I thought it was interesting that she said rustling on the ground. And she said when she got inside, there was a woman that was possessed by a demon, and it was up to her to exorcise the demon. And then when she woke up, she said she was speaking a different language as she was trying to cast the demon out. And when she woke up the next morning, she could still speak the language. And I thought, that's crazy. What are the chances of her telling me this? So I don't know her like that. I only met her briefly when I was working there for a couple of weeks to get some overtime from another account. And then also, when I spoke to the shaman, the elder, and told him about it, he said there's no concept of time in the dream realm. Time doesn't exist. It's an illusion. So that makes sense as to why when these people are asking people for the time in their dreams, they're being told nonsensical things. Like the lady said she was told 64 quarts. Okay, so Nessie X says she's going to ask tonight. Okay, let me know how it turns out. Now, they say bad things may happen. That's what some people say. But if I don't see you back in the chat tomorrow, I'll expect the worst, beloved. I'm joking. No, but seriously, I never thought of doing that. I never thought of doing that. Even when I was researching the time of dreams and all of that stuff, I never thought about asking someone the time in my dream. So I'm going to do that too. And you know what? I really wish I had thought of that, because I had dreams where I was like in medieval times. Everything was medieval, you know, and I think that was a past life that I experienced. That's what I really think. And so that Crazy Beach Era said, let's hope not, okay? If she doesn't show back up, then I'll have to go into the astral plane to find her, like in that movie Insidious. Isn't that the name of it, or was it Sinister? I think it was Insidious, where that man had to go into the astral plane to try to get his son to come back because he was trapped in there or whatever. Oh, crazy. Nessie says, yeah, I asked my granny in my dream and she didn't tell me. See, that's the thing. That's what I would expect, that they wouldn't tell you, because there's no such thing in the dream realm. Queen, do you see colors in your dreams? Yes, absolutely. I see very vivid colors. And especially when I'm lucid dreaming, I see more vivid colors. And I actually love lucid dreams. I don't really know why, but I just really love them because they're so realistic. Like, for example, the first lucid dream that I remember having was probably when I was like 19 or 20. But in the dream, I woke up that morning And this is crazy because it was almost like a dream within a dream, like what mommy says she hates. When I woke up in the dream, I could see myself. Like, it's like I was standing against the wall looking at myself in the bed, and I saw myself wake up, and I knew that I was dreaming. And then I went outside for something, and when I walked out there, I didn't even put my shoes on, and so I could feel the damp dew underneath my feet. I could literally feel it, and it was just real crazy. So, oh hell no, I said, what was black people doing in medieval times, Queen? Well, we were here first, so I'm quite sure we were there, beloved. But what I was doing, this is crazy. What I was doing is there was an order by the king for no women to give birth. No one was allowed to give birth, and if you got caught being pregnant, you were jailed, imprisoned. And so there was a woman, she was like 18 or 19 years old, and she was pregnant, and we were trying to hide it. We had been trying to hide it so the king wouldn't find out. And then so every now and then, the king would send one of the soldiers to the village to check on people to make sure nobody's pregnant. And so this young woman was pregnant, and the soldier came, and we couldn't hide her because we didn't even hear him not pull up, but we didn't hear him as he arrived on his horse. And so he just walked in to this it was like a hut that we were living in. And we had like some type of burlap. It was like a blanket, but it was made out of burlap. And it was, like the thing that maybe potatoes come in, those type of bags, like that material. And we had that for the door, like at the opening of the hut. And so he just walked in, poked his head, and then he walked in, and he saw that she was pregnant. Because at that time, she wasn't feeling well that day, and I had like a warm cloth to her head, and I was trying to give her some water. And so he just started going off or whatever, and then so he left. And so as he left, thank you for the super chat, Dan. Dan says, are deja vu and dreams related? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Very often when you feel like you're experiencing deja vu, that's usually because you've been astro traveling and your spirit has left your body and going out, traveling around, and then comes back, and you don't have any recollection of it right then, but then later you may actually travel to that place and you're like, wait a minute, this seems so familiar. And that's why. I actually told you all a story about a documented case of that. I'll talk about that another time. But so anyway, this knight or this soldier, he was leaving, and he was going to definitely tell the king that this girl was pregnant. And she was like, I guess maybe 6 months. I don't know. I'm not sure. But her stomach was showing at this point. And we had hidden it for quite some time. So I ran after him right as he was getting on his horse. And I was like, please, please, I beg of you, sir, please, please, don't tell the king. And he had this club in his hand. And he raised that club up and he went to bash me upside the head with it. And right before he did, someone was calling my name. I heard someone calling my name, Queen, Queen. And like they were calling my name in the distance. But that woke me up. That actually woke me up. So that was all crazy. But it was medieval times. It definitely was. Oh, Laverne said, thank you for explaining deja vu. You're absolutely welcome. So let me just tell you all the documented case about it. And I've told you all this before. Some of you may have missed it. But there's a woman that lives in the UK. And she and her husband were planning to buy a house. So they have been saving their money, saying they're going to go and look for homes and stuff like that. And so for about a week, like 5 days straight, or 5 nights straight, she kept having this dream about this beautiful home. It was a mansion. It had French doors and fancy carpet. It had a pool and all of that. And she would wake up every morning telling her husband that she had dreamt about this house again. And so he just laughed it off. So one day they're out looking for homes and they're just riding around, they come to this fancy neighborhood. And so they're riding and she sees the house that she's been seeing in her dream for almost a week. And she's like, oh my God, we've got to go in here and see this house. This is the house that I've been seeing in my dreams. And her husband's like, we don't need to waste time going in here. We definitely can't afford this. It's a mansion. And she said, no, but let's just go inside and let's just see. So they go in and everything in the house is just as she saw it in her dream. It had the French doors, it had the fancy carpet, the expensive paintings, and it had a pool in the backyard. So there was a real estate agent there and who was trying to sell the home for the owner. And so they asked to put in a bid, or the woman asked if she could put in a bid. And so the husband was like, no, you're just wasting time. We cannot afford this. And she said, please, can we at least try? So they put in their bid. So the real estate agent goes and talks to the owner. She actually calls her. The owner shows up. And when the owner shows up, as soon as she walks in and sees the woman, she like screams and drops her purse. And everybody's like, what's the problem? And the lady says to her, you're the ghost I've been seeing in my dreams. Or you're the ghost I've been seeing in my house. And that's why she wanted to sell the house. Because when the real estate agent gave the owner the offer, she accepted it. And the husband couldn't believe it. He's like, there's got to be something wrong with this house if they're going to sell it for that. It's clearly worth much more. But the real estate agent was like, well, the owner had said that she's been seeing ghosts in here. And the lady said, I don't care what she's been seeing. I want this house. So that's when the real estate agent called the lady and whatever. And the lady shows up like 10 minutes later. And she tells the lady that you're the ghost I've been seeing in this house. But the funny thing is, the lady wasn't a ghost at all. Her spirit had been astral traveling. That's why she had the dreams about that house, you know, and that was like deja vu, like you all were talking about. That's like deja vu, because she was astral traveling, seeing this house, and then she shows up at the house. And so they ended up buying the house. And I thought that was also crazy. You can look that up. It's actually documented. But I thought that was very interesting. So Orange Moon says, do you have any recommendations for dream interpreters? Actually, I do not, beloved, other than myself. I interpret dreams. But remember I told you all that I had a dream about the snake in the yard, and there was a sheet lying on the ground, and I was walking down the steps and a snake crawled out from under it. And I was like, when I woke up, I was like, what did that mean? And I realized an undercover snake in the grass. So I'm like, okay, somebody's going to do something shady to me. Okay, probably in the next month or so. And somebody actually did. Okay, so real crazy. Juju said dreaming is believing. And so anyway, Timber Dad said in my wig voice, God today. Y'all are funny. Y'all are something else. So yeah, so listen, if any of you need me to interpret your dreams, you can actually schedule an appointment with me, like a consultation. You can actually do that. Okay, Orange Moon says all praises to the Most High, our righteous Creator. Absolutely. Curly Girl says snakes in my dream is a sign an evil person is around close. My grandmother used to always say that snakes in your dream is usually a sign of something, an enemy close by, in close proximity. So with that all being said, everyone enjoy the rest of this day. I'm going to go ahead and conclude the broadcast. Everyone enjoy the rest of this evening. I hope you all enjoyed this and got something out of it. Please make sure that you're paying attention, because we will be having questions from this on the trivia this Friday. All right. So with that all being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.